And what's an oh shit moment where you realized you've been doing something the wrong way for years? And I owned a light blue colored microwave for about 3 years that a family member gave me for a housewarming gift. Thought it was cool. Never saw a blue microwave before. One night, a buddy asked why I never took the blue plastic wrap off my microwave, then proceeded to peel it off for me. Damn. That bitch is silver. Still miss my blue microwave sometimes though. After moving to a new city, I went to the laundromat and the Korean lady working was yelling at me about something I couldn't understand. After some pantomime, it became clear that she was upset I was putting in the wrong detergent, but it was the same kind I have been using for 8 years, since moving away to college and behind. Turns out I've been washing my clothes with only fabric softener for nearly a decade. They always smelled good, so I never really thought about it. Not my proudest moment. I'll pour one out for the absorbency of all of your towels. Sad face. Wait, does fabric softener reduce towel absorbency or just the lack of actual detergent? Fabric softener basically coats your towels in wax, making them shit at absorbing water. Whoops. My family always had a cup next to the bathroom sink in case you needed to rinse your mouth after brushing your teeth or maybe get a quick drink of water in the middle of the night. My grandma had the same cup at her house. I used it for years whenever I was thirsty. One day she saw me doing this and said, "Don't use that cup. That's where grandma puts her teeth." Okay. When I was a kid, I was told that the paper that came on cupcakes/muffins was edible. I would spend a decade eating them like this, paper and all, until a friend pointed it out. Travel frequently for work and only just noticed that most laptop bags have a strap to place over a rolling suitcase handle. That's what that fucking thing is for. I would probably look like Megamind if I learned as much in school as I do on this app. This app. We've truly entered a new era. I taught myself how to play clarinet. 6 months later, someone told me that I'd been playing with the mouthpiece upside down. Maybe you just had your mouth upside down. I used to fill the kettle by the spout. My parents have always done it this way. I thought the center part was mainly for decoration, but not functional. I don't know why I never questioned this. One day I bought a new tea kettle and my husband was like, "WTF, what is inside this?" And with great ease, opened the center to pull out a manual with instructions and whatnot. I was drinking dirty paper water for like 2 weeks. Okay, but why did your parents do this in the first place? Ugh, I don't know. Maybe I should tell them. I used to pull my pants down all the way at the urinal. I've seen this as an adult in the workforce as a programmer. I weep for our prospects. Seen it in the military. Guy pulls his pants all the way down, uses both hands to hold his shirt up, and then just lets fly, hands free. Found out I was lighting incense wrong. Boyfriend and I got a bunch to add to our collection of nice smells and we would light them and they would just start a little inferno. Convinced we were buying cheap, garbage incense, we stopped using them. I proceed to buy a different brand in a hope those would work. I test light and same thing, it just goes up in an inferno. Roommate informs us you are supposed to blow them out once they catch. Oops. I always thought eggplant tasted itchy, like itchy was a flavor, like sour or salty. Fed some to my baby and his face turned red wherever the eggplant touched, and I realized we're both just allergic to eggplant. And itchy isn't a flavor. One day I used the key fob to remotely start my dad's car. It was shit moment for him. 2 years and he didn't realize he had this handy little function. My dad bought an aftermarket remote start and took it in to get installed. When he went to pick it up, they asked him what was wrong with the factory #. I owned a car with swivel headlights and it was very nice to have that. Discovered 3 years in that I had never turned on the swivel feature. Oh man, I thought the AC button in my car, Snowflake, was defrost, so I never used it in summer. Fuck, did I feel dumb. 2 years. I didn't find out that I was supposed to punch out for lunch until my 3rd job. And even then it was because a co-worker mentioned it in passing that they were clocking out for lunch. Not mine. But my dad has been spelling his name wrong his whole life. He's 51. His name is Jeffrey, and he's been spelling it like that since he learned how to spell his name. A few months ago my mom pulled out his birth certificate, and we all learned it's actually spelled Jeffrey. Not sure if he spells it correctly now, but it was definitely an oh shit moment for him. Grandfather thought his name was Harvey his whole life. Got his birth certificate at 65 and it's Harmon. My aunt and uncle gave my grandmother a copy of her birth certificate for her birthday. Apparently she had never had one. On her 77th birthday, she found out she was actually 78. My wife and I have this ceiling fan/light in our bedroom in the house we moved into 2 years ago. It has a remote control for the fan and lights. About a year and a half ago the lights suddenly stopped working. The fan works well and we didn't have a ton of money, so we've just lived with lamps in the room, always being frustrated with how damn dark it is. I was scrolling some other thread on TIFU a few weeks ago and the top post was a guy talking about how his lights stopped working years ago, and then he found out that it was just dimmed, which you do by holding down the button on the remote. It sounded so much like our fan I went and tried it. Dimmed. Living in a foreign country where I was actively learning the language. Social cues go a long way when learning a language on the spot. That being said, someone once said a phrase to me while serving a hot dish, which I assumed as meaning "excuse me." After going through crowds and lines, replicating the same phrase in an attempt to be respectful of those around me, I abruptly found out that the phrase actually meant enjoy. Hindsight completely makes sense. The odd looks I would get by saying enjoy while squeezing past people all of a sudden made sense. Part of me was hoping you've been announcing that a hot dish while passing by people for all these years. Hot dish, coming through, hot dish. I'm vigorously checking this thread to make sure I'm not an idiot too. Not cause I've been doing something wrong my entire life but saw it wrong. I'm colorblind and my entire life I thought peanut butter was green until I turned 19. And when I found out it was brown my mind was blown. It took so long because no one really talks about the color of things like that. When I was in high school I was talking to a colorblind friend asking the usual dumb questions, like what color is a green light when you're, and he said he knows which light is which even though they all look gray. So I said, "Oh, so Yoda is gray to you?" His horrified expression as he yelled, "Yoda is green," was priceless. For years I would struggle to take the cap off new deodorant, the one under the lid. It always is so stuck down onto the deodorant stick. I had an aha moment a year or so ago that I could simply crank the deodorant stick up until the cap could easily be removed. I'm 34. It took me until age 34 to realize this. Oh. Well. This makes all the sense in the world when you see it spelled out like that. All this time I've been biting on the little nubbin that protrudes from the plastic and pulling it off, like pulling the pin on a powder fresh hand grenade. I am 38. Got you beat. I'm 71. Just opened a new deodorant last week, with my teeth. Doer. Till, huh? My mom refused to show me how to use a tampon because she thought I should stick to pads because they were safer. This was back when Googling how to do things wasn't an option, and I was the first in my friend group to get my period and a little sheepish about it. So basically I was shoving that sucker up there with the entire applicator for like 2 years, wondering why tampons didn't seem to work that well for me. It wasn't until I was in high school, and one of my friends went on a crusade against plastic waste, and started advocating for tampons with no applicators, that all of a sudden I realized I had massively fucked up. Same here, and it pinched so fucking bad if you sat down wrong. I'm so glad I'm not alone. Former school nurse here. The number of high school boys who don't know what circumcision is amazingly high. Many think they were born circumcised. When they finally see a foreskin, they are in complete awe. When they find out the brown ring on their penis is a scar from when their foreskin was removed, they are also amazed. Wow. Sometimes I assume I know the lyrics to songs I have heard on the radio for a long time. I always sang Toto's "Africa Is, I Miss the Rains Down in Africa." Until someone made fun of me and told me it's, "I bless the rains down in Africa." I argued, that makes no sense. Why would someone bless rain? It's a song about longing to return to Africa, which is why they miss the rain. Then I went home and looked up the lyrics. Even more fun when English isn't your first language. We found love in a found love in a. We found love in a homeless place. We found love in a homeless placey. Figured they were boning at a homeless shelter. My name is Ryan. It took me until I was in first grade to realize my name wasn't J in the alphabet. My mom had told me my name was in the alphabet, and I felt so lucky. She obviously meant the letters to spell my name were in the alphabet. But nope. It took that long to realize the alphabet didn't go W, X, Ryan Z. Don't feel bad. My birthday is in July. I was under the impression until I was 7 that the 4th of July, the fireworks, specifically, were for my birthday. I felt really dumb, but also really sad when I realized they weren't. That you do, in fact, Need to disassemble your laundry dryer and clean the lint out from underneath the drum once per year. I'm 31 and never knew this. No one ever said anything. Never saw anyone do this. Crappiest thing is that my parents learned this the hard way and never bothered to give me a tip when I bought my first dryer. Luckily, the wife and I discovered the lint buildup when changing the rollers. I said to my parents, "Wow, it really builds up in there," and they were like, "Oh yeah, you need to do that like once a year." Why, yeah. That's serious. Shit can start a fire. Well, this was a few years ago. I was the director of IT for a very large company. I was given a new cell phone and told to set up my voicemail. I don't know that when I recorded my name it would be played to whomever I leave a voicemail for. Well, the name I recorded was Duder84 Corporate IT God. I worked there for 4 years until someone in the hallway referred to me as the Corporate IT God. I was so embarrassed. Power move. Since the dawn of time, I would pick up the silverware and utensils out of their tray in the dishwasher and put them away in their drawers, then go back and pick up more out of the dishwasher. Then one day I saw my wife lift the tray out of the dishwasher and I legit stood there with my mouth open. God damn it. I knew that thing moved because I've removed it and changed it around to make pans or big dishes fit better, and I've still been going back and forth for the silverware. Not wrong for years, but I work help desk, and we use a specific, terrible, piece of software for our support system, IBM Notes. It turns out that for the first 9 months I had been working there, it wasn't set up properly, so I wasn't sending any emails from it, at all. No notifications that the ticket went to me, no responses from me, no close notifications, nothing. Someone noticed this, took a look, and fixed a setting. I immediately sent out over 1,000 emails to everyone in the company. You work in IT and managed to keep your job without sending emails for 9 months. That's impressive. This is insane to me. My boss gets on me if he doesn't see me send enough emails in a day. I didn't realize I had to brush the back of my teeth as well as the front. I was a dumb kid. I blamed toothpaste adverts, until I was 15. Had 9 filings and a root canal. Same. Embarrassingly enough, I thought you brushed your teeth to keep them white. I didn't know anything about keeping them healthy, so I thought, I don't mind if my back teeth are yellow, nobody's going to see them anyway. No one really ever told me you don't need to buy shoes with the 2 fingers space in front of the toes after your feet stop growing. I had been buying an entire size too big until about age 23. 23. One day in college I decided to try a pair of Merrell barefoot type shoes, and after reading the sizing guide, bam. Mind blown. It's terribly obvious mistake I, 29F, like to blame on being an only child. But really I'm just a fucking moron. Winding a watch that was battery powered. For like, a year. Ah, fuck. Thanks for making me think of that. What did you even do? What part is there to wind? Did you just turn it backwards 12 hours or something? Old watches were spring powered, not battery powered. Winding them retightened the spring. My grandfather wound his watch. My parents got teenage me a watch. I regularly turned the little knob that one uses to adjust the time/date, without pulling it out. It does nothing when you don't pull it out. I am lactose intolerant. I genuinely did not know this for the first 25+ years of my life. I always had to go to the bathroom after eating something with cheese in it. One day it just clicked. I bought some lactate, took it before the next time I ate cheese, and I didn't have to go to the bathroom. Was mind-blowing. I have no idea how I didn't make the connection for years. So I guess you could say instead of having a oh shit moment, I had a no shit moment. Wiping my ass. I always thought everyone reached their hand between their legs, but after someone making a joke about wiping their ass, I asked how they did it. Then for curiosity's sake I asked a bunch more people. I'm the only person I know that wipes their ass from between their legs. I hear this conversation once in a while and it always seems shocking to people that some wipe sitting down, some only wipe standing up, some wipe from behind, some wipe from between their legs. It's almost as if we grew up not watching people wipe their ass, lol. I wipe by swallowing a wad of toilet paper after every meal, which then wipes my hole on exit. I call it, clean as you go.